It's certainly an exciting day for some students and teachers right here in Maryland.
Yeah, it was back to in-person learning as hundreds of students returned to the actual classroom for the first time in nearly a year. WJZ has live team coverage with all the excitement.
And we want to bring in Abijoy Burnett now, who's live in Baltimore County, where some of the youngest returned to school today. Hey, Abijoy.
Good afternoon. The babies were back in school today, some of them for the very first time. The families and teachers have been getting ready for this day for weeks now. Today they got the opportunity to put it to the test, and things look a lot different. Everyone had a mask on.
The first day back inside a school building was a new experience for teachers and students.
What grade are you going to be in today?
Kindergarten.
At Owings Mills Elementary, the school's principal also has a daughter here.
Yeah, so it's her first time in kindergarten. We're very excited for that.
Students in Baltimore County will be going back to school in groups, or what's known as cohorts. On Mondays and Tuesdays, Cohort A will go to school. Thursdays and Fridays, a second group will get their turn. And for the 3 other days, there will be virtual learning. Teachers and staff will have to get used to teaching both groups at once.
Just like when we first started in virtual learning, that was a challenge. And our teachers at our school, and I'm quite sure the teachers in Baltimore County, they would pick it up quickly. We're very resilient.
At Waverly Elementary Middle School in Baltimore City, the CEO of school said 100% of the teachers returned to the classroom.
Happy birthday back in. Thank you, you all.
Educators across the entire state are worried that there could be a COVID-19 outbreak in their building. Dr. Sonia Santalisa says there will be regular testing in Baltimore City in an attempt to stay ahead of the virus.
It goes to the lab and very quickly comes back to show us if any of the students or people in that cluster have any strain of COVID.
And just before we came on, the principal at the school walked out after a long first day back in the building. He told us that every student showed up today except for just one. So right here, they're anticipating a third of their students to come back to in-person learning. Over in Baltimore City, the CEO said about 25% of their students will go back inside the building. Live tonight, Abijoy Burnett for WJZ.
Abijoy, thank you. In Harford and Anne Arundel counties, young students being welcomed back to school in different hybrid models.
Yeah, let's bring in Rachel Card now. She's got a look inside schools in those areas. Rachel, the big question is, what are they doing to protect students there?
Well, Rick, Nicole, looks very different inside school buildings today. Teachers and administrators put up plastic barriers. They made sure all the kids were social distancing and had their masks on. But they say all the kids were compliant and happy to be back. Disinfection is in place at Homestead Wakefield Elementary School in Bel Air as students return to the classroom March 1st.
Just to see their faces is worth all of this.
First grade teacher Beth Watson says today is like the third first day of school for her class. Even her young students are following new protocols well.
They make sure they're masked up. They're walking and making sure they have a distance between them. Especially the ones that were here back in the fall. They picked up right where we left off.
Every little protocol, from how you come in the building, how you move in the hallways, how you sit in the cafeteria.
Harford County Superintendent Dr. Sean Bolson says the students are adhering spectacularly to the new rules in place, giving him hope.
We've been fortunate in Harford County. The metrics have been dropping. So we hope pretty quickly to be able to move to a 4-day-a-week offering.
In Anne Arundel County, 15,000 students will go back to in-person learning this week in elementary schools.
We have tried to be as aggressive as we could, but be as prudent as we could. And that's the course we'll continue to follow.
By March 26th, all students in Anne Arundel County who want to return to school will have done so. And the school system says they'll continue to have daily conversations with their health department about the appropriate steps moving forward.
This is students in front of teachers in classrooms, and it's just amazing to see.
Now, similarly to what Abijoy was just saying, here in Harford County as well as in Anne Arundel County, different students are assigned different days of the week that they're allowed to be back in school. Some kids with special needs or certain learning disabilities are allowed to be in the school more than 2 days a week. Again, all of those things are subject to change. Now, here in Harford County, 35% of students have chose to remain virtual only, and in Anne Arundel County, that number is 62%. We're live in Bel Air. I'm Rachel Carden for WJZ.